From Los Angeles, live on tape, it's the Dennis Miller Show. Tonight, Joan Rivers, Dwight Yoakam, author Susan Faludi, Andy Summers, and the Soporifics. And now, it's him.
Nah, I'm just kidding with this. Wanted to get right up to the precipice, pivot, and jete back to Coolsville. Well, Andy Summers, Soporifics, let's have a hand for him. Mickey Bacai, our announcer. Yeah. Raining today in Los Angeles. A pleasant rain, a holy rain, a cleansing rain that came and took all the scum and depravity and washed it. Sorry. Channeling Travis Bickle there for a second. Hey, right up front, I want to wish a happy anniversary. Earlier tonight, I guess, I hope you all watched David Letterman's 10th anniversary. So congratulations to, yeah. Well, good evening, I'm Dennis Miller, but please call me by my American Gladiator name, Water Damage. Big night last night, huh? The new kids on the block proved they could sing live. They just didn't prove why. I don't know. Did you hear that one a cappella number? Ooh. I needed a tetanus shot after that. Jeez. It's now been revealed that Bill Clinton may have dodged the draft to avoid going to Vietnam. I think it's ironic that Vietnam was the only time this guy didn't see any action. Jennifer Flowers, Bill's lover, or reported lover, said she rates Bill a 9 as a lover. Did you see that thing? She gave him a 9. She docked the governor a point because of a shaky dismount. And, yeah. But he planted it. Flowers, oh, sorry, I've done that joke. I'm going to go to the next one. Well, she said he was a 9, and I couldn't help but notice this is the first thing she said that Clinton hasn't denied. And CBS will be putting a small point-of-view camera on the U.S. luge team's helmet. This way, they'll be able to simulate the fall of the American economy in the past 4 years, and maybe to get that economo-cam. An education testing survey shows that American school children possess lower and lower math scores than most students abroad. When asked to comment, a Los Angeles high school student dismissed the findings, saying, "Half the time these studies are right, but most of the time they're wrong." You know. The United Nations is imposing new sanctions against Iraq. You read this, saying that Hussein has defied nearly all ceasefire pertaining to his country. Hussein explains that the resolutions are not binding to him since he claims his official residence is in Houston, Texas. So, it's a Bush joke. Bush says he lives in a hotel room in Houston, Texas, and he just lends it out a lot to Bill Clinton. Bush Bush stopped in Las Vegas today to visit a hospital, and he had a little extra time, so he put another $1,000 down on the Democrats to win. And he also unveiled the details of his new health care plan today. I thought it was very compassionate. And under the new plan, anyone who is poor or uninsured will still receive full medical care from Dr. Kevorkian. And this is the new Republican health care plan. Boy. The Kevork. Things just keep getting worse for the old suicide doctor, don't they, huh? Not only has he been arrested for murder, but a patient is suing him for malpractice because he's still alive. And Kevorkian is being charged with murder for using his suicide machine on 2 women. If found guilty, he could face life in prison, although he's demanding the chair. And finally, there was a fire in the hotel where the jurors for the Mike Tyson trial were staying. The jury had to be moved to another hotel, although Mike did offer to let some of them spend the night in his room. And we've got a great show for you tonight. We've got... who we got? We have Joan Rivers is here tonight. Yeah. We've got Dwight Yoakam, and yes, he is. And we've got feminist author Susan Faludi. And sounds like a show, Andy?
This portion of the Dennis Miller Show is to you by Bud Dry. Dry brewed so it drinks light, yet satisfies completely.
Welcome back. Andy, thank you. Welcome back. All right, first of all, tonight, once again, is Late Night with David Letterman's 10th anniversary. I want to congratulate all the guys over there on 10 years of some of the most innovative television ever. Of course, we get compared to Late Night favorably and unfavorably, which is only fair. Still, I think our show is different. It has its own qualities. In fact, here are the top 10 reasons why the Dennis Miller Show is not Late Night with David Letterman. Number 10, we play on AstroTurf. And our machine doesn't print as quickly. Number 9, our stage manager, Biff Henderson, is spelled with 1 F. Number 8, when I throw a pencil, I'm docked for it. Number 7, Cher likes me. Number 6, they were always able to come up with a funny number 6. Number 5, 4 simple words, Jinky the fruit bat. Number 4, wood and plenty of it. Number 3, our home office was destroyed by CIA operatives in 3 days of the Condor. Number 2, my oddly small hands. I'm reading a review in People right in the middle. The guy says I had oddly small hands. I want to allay all your fears, though. I have an absolutely huge penis. In a vault in a Swiss bank. And the number 1 reason why we're nothing like David Letterman, they're a proven success, and we're not. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Anton. My first guest is the author of 2 books, Enter Talking and Still Talking. She is not surprisingly the host of a successful nationally syndicated talk show now in its 3rd year. Let's welcome Joan Rivers. Joan!
Nice to see you, dear.
You can add one
add more to the list. You have me on.
Now, you don't do David's show?
No, because David is owned by Carson.
Oh.
I was booked and then I was canceled.
And something happened between you and Johnny? I almost ceramic poisoned my own skull doing that spit take.
They always, they interview me, they still come up with that same question. So you want to talk about, like 5 years ago, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, but I have lots of regards, and everyone, we have the same...
yeah, we're with the same company, the Chicago Tribune.
Managing us, and, or sponsoring us. And my advice to you, because I've been asking around, and I told you this already, is listen, right? Don't ever try to top a guest. Be very kind, be very gentle, and when you go in the audience, lock your wallet away, because otherwise you'll screw up a
Crowds
joke.
are tough.
And no, and get political. Do you have anybody political on?
We're gonna have Susan Faludi tonight. She's a feminist author.
Yeah, but not. I had Dan Quayle on.
Oh, you did?
Mistake.
Why?
Why?
Well, I would think it would be like I would think it would be like shooting clay pots, man. It was just Huh?
Some people carry a condom in their wallet. He came out holding a condom with his wallet in it. You know, the guy is just confused. It's so sad. And you don't want to make jokes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because, you know, he's great looking and everything. And backstage, the aides were saying to him, like, act presidential, act presidential. So he threw up. And you go, that's just... That's sad.
Was Meryl with him? Was Marilyn with him?
She's pretty.
Yeah?
No, you want to know something? No wonder politicians cheat. Look at their wives. Have you ever seen a politician whose wife wasn't a bow wow? I mean, think about it. Think of one.
Well, Jack Kennedy.
Only Jackie Kennedy. Only. Oh, come on, Barbara Bush, a nice lady, but would you want to get her in the sack, Barbara Bush, the truth?
Oh,
even if the pearls were real.
If I had to do it for my country. Duty called.
I mean, poor Clinton. Can you blame him? I mean, it's just.
Well, to me, Clinton's mistress was not as
Jennifer
pretty
Flowers.
or as attractive as his
His wife
mistress.
is nice.
Yeah, she seems nice and
she has
bright.
that one eyebrow. Oh, you want to go like, look out! Ow, I'm sorry, that's your eyebrow. She looked like Brooke Shields used to look, remember? You used to, Brooke, there's something crawling. Oh, no, it's your eyebrow. It is just Quayle was just very strange, you know, very, very... And then the whole thing, they say, was drinking backstage, but they all drink. You know what I mean?
Wait, Quayle was drinking?
Yes!
What?
He kept missing his mouth, though.
He wasn't. It was just his pacifier.
But they all drink. Even the wives drink.
Yeah.
Mamie Eisenhower, may she rest in peace. Oh, they used to say it was ear trouble. She couldn't hear them say you've had enough. I mean, this woman was like, if they woke her up 30 years later, she still couldn't pass a breath test. I mean, it was...
I can't believe we're putting kicks in on Mamie Eisenhower. And you know that Mary Todd Lincoln, what a bitch.
I did my homework.
We'll be right back with Joan Rivers, folks, right after this. Oh, your daughter's in a play?
My daughter's in a play. It opens tonight. It's called Eat Your Heart Out, and it's at the Court Theater in West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. She's in the play?
She's in the play. There it is, Melissa. No, wow. She's in it. Yeah, I'm so proud.
Are you going over right after
I'm going right
this?
over. I'm going to be there all 3 nights. Oh, sure.
Now, I thought she was going to work on this show. Weren't you going to call?
She was going to work on your show, but
she's an actress.
She's an actress, too, and she got the part in the play. And, you know, everyone wants to be an actress.
Right,
you know?
right.
And she's making it on her own, not sleeping around, you know, the whole thing. She has a friend, you know, it's every generation you think it changes. Nothing changes, you know that. I had my friend Heidi Bromwich, which was, you know, tramp. Oh, an old tramp. We won't go into her anymore. But she used to give Frankfurt his pet names. I mean, just like, you know, the lowest. And Melissa has a friend who's a tramp, but she's a Jewish princess from New York, and they don't make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you say to a guy, you know, I'm wearing this fur coat and nothing else. That's what you gotta say tonight. I'm wearing a fur coat and nothing else. Wait till you see what I'm gonna do to you tonight. I mean, the guys don't want to show up. So she's like a lonely tramp.
Yeah, right there. That's it. Harder.
You're the best. You're the best. You're my king.
Wow.
Just not making it.
Just hearing it, I need a drink.
See, but because I'm dating now, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, are you in love or you're just dating?
You kid, at this age.
No, you don't want to fall in love again?
They're not alive. I mean, they show up in a hearse. You should go to my house. You have a hickey, the teeth are attached. I mean, it's terrible. You don't know because you're married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only good thing is at this age with these old men that I go out with, I'm lousy in bed, but they forget. So they think they had a good time. They say, that was great. A minute before they're going, ugh. But they just forget. It's terrific.
Well, you must not. You're trumping this up to be a little worse than it is, though, because you look so beautiful now. You look great.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
But not great. Well, all women, everybody tries to look good. Have you ever met anybody that said, I'm leaving my house, I want to look crappy? You know, I think I'll put that on and make me look ugly. Everybody wants to look good. And they try their best. They do. Everybody in California, it came out in People magazine, they're all having their face lifted. You know that.
Yeah.
My neighbor was Marlene Dietrich. She had it pulled. Now she's very old, but I used to watch her when I was growing up. Pulled and snipped and pulled. They took all the extra skin. They made another woman that walked right beside her. It was wherever she went, this little Marlene walked right next to her.
But now, didn't TV Guide, did that cover bother you, or?
No, because it was during Sweeps Week.
Always the pragmatist, Joan.
Any publicity is great.
Yeah, but it had you remember it had half
a face that looked terrible, and then a half a face that looked great. So I just hoped all my friends saw this half, you know. But you try to look good, everyone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to a class reunion.
Well, you don't want to tell
which one. I graduated from college. You want to get depressed? 1958.
Wow.
Yeah. When did you?
Did you study numbers or letters?
I still have the papyrus that I was born on.
The Sanskrit reed.
Yeah, you know how sad it is when your friends are dying of natural causes?
Oh, Jesus.
Up to now they were hit by cars.
Right.
Now they just say, they've gone, God bless them.
He just passed on comfortably in his sleep. It was his time. Hey, wait a second. He was my younger man.
When I die, I want to be cremated. I have my ashes scattered in the face of my agent. Just thrown right in. Joan's dead, you SOB. Wow.
Now, how's the recession hit in New York? You live back. I miss New York. I'm out here.
It's bad. The hookers are doing layaway plans. It's rough.
You like it back there?
I love it. Oh, it's the best thing in the world. Except I have my dogs with me. I have my little dog, Spike, and I have two big dogs, and they have the pooper scooper law.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you clean up, you know about this? They have in California. You clean up after the dogs, and you get $100 fine or a day in jail, which their discretion. So I don't mind cleaning up after Spike, because it's like a little Tootsie Roll, you know. But the big ones, come on, Shovel City. So I figure, first time a cop stops me, I'll just pretend I did it. And think about it. There's no law, Dennis. If you can go to the bathroom on the street, so you just go, hello, officer, nice day. And they'll never know.
I like the logic. I haven't heard.
But New York is crazy. Mm-hmm. I have a house. You lived there originally. Did you give up your apartment?
I lived there for 6 years. I kept an apartment there, but just in case.
Yes.
Just in case.
Yes. You should, or if there's an earthquake, you can slide right back there, you know, from here. That's.
But you were in New York in its glory days.
Yeah.
I hear those old stories about you and Pryor and Carlin and Woody in the Village. That must have been
all sitting, all unknown, on a bench, waiting to go on, and there'd be Richard Pryor and me and George Carlin and Woody and Bill Cosby and Lily Tomlin. I mean, it was incredible. All of us waiting. Can we try to be funny? It was incredible times.
And
I don't know what happened to any of them, but that's and the nice thing was one time about 7 years after we all hit, we all went out to dinner together.
Yeah.
You know? and everybody could reach for the check. You know how nice that is? Nobody did, but
But they could have. The potential was there.
What are you all, a bunch of Venus de Milos? But nobody reached for the check.
Yeah.
But that's the nice part, that we all did well together.
Well, Joan, good to see you again.
Oh,
You look
good to
great.
see
And
you.
good luck on your
Good
daughter's
luck
play
on you.
tonight. Say hi to her. We'll be right back. Thank you. Joan Rivers, folks.
This portion of the Dennis Miller Show is brought to you by Bounce. Stop static before static stops you.
Vanity Fair magazine said this man strides the divide between rock's lust and country's lament. So I smacked Vanity Fair on the head and said, don't try so hard. Performing It Takes a Lot to Rock You. Here he is, Dwight Yoakam, folks. I just figured out why you do the pants are too damn tight, Ben. It's the only way you can move.
These.
Those are nice. What is that, a chamois?
Yeah, no. Actually, it's just cowhide flipped inside out.
Yeah, like California roll.
Sort of like California roll, yeah.
So, what's up, man? You're acting now?
I'm doing something.
I hear you're breaking out from the music. What are you?
You know, I know you've had trouble with
Hey,
this
that has
chair.
to stay there. Jesus!
No. I know you've had trouble with this chair.
You country folk are different.
Discussed it early.
What's this
But I
film
like
about?
your chair, actually.
You do?
I like this finish.
I'm
It's
surprised
great.
you can
It's
feel
kind of
anything.
artsy-craftsy thing, you know, you got going on, right?
Those pants are going to give you gangrene if you don't watch it. Okay, now with the pants
Take it down. Here's the deal. Chaps, if you wear them very long, after a few wearings, they stretch. They continue to stretch. Like
Right.
on horses, if anybody rides, you know, you get on and they stretch. So you have to have them tightened down. Well, I'd forgotten that these were tightened down real recently, and we got back there and started putting them on. It was like he had over-tightened. But they'll stretch.
No, wait a second. You mean you have a guy that follows you around and puts these on you?
No, you get down here, you gotta call to somebody to get the last little.
All right. That's got to be the grimmest job in showbiz. Just travel around on the road and put Dwight's chaps on. Well, there's some women who are volunteering for the position out here. Tell us about the film now. You're in a film with Nick Cage and Dennis
Yeah, well,
Hopper?
I did a thing that'll, I guess, be out in the fall. It's called Red Rock West. And a fellow named John Dahl wrote it and is directing it. And I think they actually just finished shooting. And he and I had met about a year or so ago, and we had discussed a long-form video idea that I had that turned out to be more movie-like than it was video feasible. And we got together and wrote a treatment for a Western, and the outgrowth of that was a friendship, and then he called me on this part. It's just a kind of a...
Did you have fun? Was it a kick? Or
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun watching the two of them work. Their technique is terrific, and I was just, spellbound kind of...
Yeah, well, you're in with two pretty intense cats there.
Yeah.
Cage, I don't know his work as well as Hopper's, but
Yeah,
he looks...
Dennis
Didn't he eat the bug in the vampire flick? Did you hear about that?
I didn't ask him.
But he actually ate the bug. There's a scene where he picks a roach up.
Well, he sucked the end of a gun in the scene I was in with him, so he
Well,
probably ate the
I
bug.
gotta think that's even worse than the bug. Sucking on the end of the gun? Okay, that wins.
Isn't that Spinal Tap's next album?
Yes, it is. Sucking on
Suck the end of the
right
gun,
up to
baby.
smell the glow.
Smell the
And how is Hopper? Did he tell you James Dean stories? He seems to always pass the legend of James on down.
I didn't. We didn't actually ended up at the Rose Bowl parade with Dennis Hopper. It was a weird deal. He was out there in an RV. I said, now this is kind of surreal. Dennis at the Rose Bowl
He was in the parade with
an
an
RV? Spent the night before there. No,
Just love the thought of Hopper on
I
top
know.
of an RV.
It's like no. Yeah, as the parade participants go by, he's like, don't look at me, It was weird. Anyway, Dennis is a terrific guy. Nicholas is a great guy. It was a real thrill to get to participate in the first film I did with both of those guys.
He had a good taste. You're going to go back for a little more, you think?
Maybe. I've got some other things that I have a propensity to tell stories and make up some things, and kind of flow in that way. I mean...
yeah, your mind just doesn't work in song.
Well, it just doesn't tell the truth. So I am writing a thing currently with another guy that a writer-producer named Alan Rucker, and I created a story a couple of years ago called Ladies' Man, so we're kind of a murder mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, good luck with it, Dwight. It's nice to...
Good luck with your
the
show,
fans
by the
love
way.
you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll be right back. Dwight Yoakam, folks. Hey, take a peek at that. It's the album. We'll be right back after this.
If you're going to be in Los Angeles and would like to attend a taping of the Dennis Miller Show, please drop us a note. Care of the Dennis Miller Show, Post Office Box 8160, Universal City, California 91608, or call us at 818-506-0043.
Little country vibe here at the show tonight. Tomorrow night, my guest will be actor Charles Dutton, comedian Colin Quinn, actress Mary Stuart Masterson, fried green tomatoes, very good, and director John Abnett, also. And Jinky the Fruit Bat. It is... kids, it's never been more important to be politically correct. Why wait till adulthood to embrace those views? So tonight we present Politically Correct Tales for Tots. And this is the first one right here. It's P. Rabbit. P. Rabbit, The Adventures of an Androgynous Garden Dweller. And next we have, where are we at? Right here? The Differently Sized Engine That Could. Now we are unisexed. Pooh and Piglet out Eeyore, and the three enjoy a gay holiday meal of organically grown oatcakes and Zen honey. So, the politically correct books there. Now, for those of you out there who are PC, don't take this the wrong way. I know you're out there, and I know you are primed. Politically, oh, you don't have to. It's the irate John Doe. You know, my next guest is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist whose new book, Backlash, right here, Backlash, the undeclared war against American women. Yikes. I'm sorry, I'm a man. Please welcome Susan Faludi, folks. Susan, how are you? Nice to meet you. Pulitzer Prize, huh?
Gotta win something.
That's a good prize to win. I won an ace, but that Pulitzer, that's got to be on the front of the mantle. Now, is there a specific incident, or is this a long chain of events in your life that led you to,
led up to the book?
Yeah, to the book Backlash?
Well, like many things in life, it sort of started with a jilted boyfriend.
No, did it really? It's that simple?
A sort of unhappy bachelor who was back a few years ago calling all of his, all the women who dumped him, basically, and telling them that they must rush out right away, go to the newsstand, and buy this issue of Newsweek that said that there was a terrible man shortage on, according to a Harvard-Yale study, that single women, college-educated women who had postponed marriage had only a 1% chance by the time they reached 40, were more likely to be killed by a terrorist. You don't remember this, but I'm sure every woman watching.
I wasn't a woman at that point in my life, but I'm sure it would have stuck in my craw if I was of that persuasion.
But,
less than 1% chance of meeting a man after age 30?
After age 40.
After age 40.
And 20% chance after age 30. So I went, and, of course, being a sheep like so many other people, I went out and bought the Newsweek story and fell into a funk. And
but you quibbled with that stat,
yeah,
right? Sure,
so,
that sounds silly to me, obviously.
Well, it sounded fishy to me also, and made a few phone calls to the Census Bureau as a reporter to do a magazine story about it. And from the first phone call on, it turned out that the study itself was full of holes. These esteemed Harvard-Yale researchers ultimately retracted the 20% and the 1%. This, however, did not get front-page coverage on Newsweek.
No, it always gets the correction in the bottom of the second page.
They did run 2 paragraphs, and it was called Update.
Yeah.
But
this got your juices flowing about this whole issue, and it led to the book.
Yeah.
Now, I'm always surprised, though, when obviously, women have gotten a short shrift in this society. When you see those stats about the payment they receive for equal work, you're just kind of embarrassed about it. You know, it's like people not being allowed to use drinking fountains in the early 60s. But I don't know why women don't circle the wagons, for God's sakes. The Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas, there's no better battlefield for this to be spoken out. And the women in the polls, they supported Thomas. They thought, for God's sakes, this must infuriate people like you.
Well, those polls are themselves questionable, because
that?
all of those polls that are quoted all the time were taken after or during the time that Clarence Thomas was speaking. There was one poll that was taken right after she spoke, and the majority of women in that poll said they agreed with her.
Okay, then forget polls. What about the vehemence of individual women that I see on the news just decrying the female in this instance? Does that madden you?
A lot of that has to do with the media itself. They pick out 3 or 4 people, and often what you're getting from the media is reflective not of what average Joe or Jane on the street thinks, but what some media, what some editor decides is the story.
Well, then, what's your take on the whole Thomas Hill thing? Did it galvanize women, or are women just as a bunch of disparate tribes as they used to be, or they now have a common cause?
I think, like a lot of things, it's some days women feel galvanized by it. And on the other hand, there was one poll taken that found that a majority of women, while it really got their juices going, a majority of them were very discouraged. They felt, boy, if you can't even expect the former head of the EEOC to refrain from sexual harassment, how am I going to stop my boss at the convenience store? But to me, there was sort of a classic moment in the whole Hill-Thomas case, right before the hearings, when the 7 congresswomen marched over to Capitol Hill and knocked on what were literally gilded doors, and said, let us in. And the men, in the words of one of the senators, they said, "We don't let strangers in." Wow. And it's this kind of treehouse version, the adult version.
But seeing the women the women walking over was somewhat like the revolution that's what it reminded me of. I thought, well, for God's sakes, I'd march right up. I don't want to sound like Alan Alda here, but it just seemed like I was getting cranky that all these men were sitting there in judgment of this woman. It just seemed like some Star Trek tribunal or something, where you had the brains of Kronos up there, and this woman sitting there trying to defend herself.
It got worse and worse too as the night wore on. I don't know if you were watching it at 2 in the morning when they were all telling stories about how they read Playboy when they were back in law school, ho, 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 and that wonderful John Doggett.
Well, I don't think Ted Kennedy had trousers on under the desk. When he was hearing the story, I thought I heard a whap, 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 and I swear, Vine was trying to cover it with a gavel, but it was bad timing. It was like, we'll be right back with Susan Faludi after this. Welcome back. We're with author Susan Faludi. The book is Backlash, and I think we have some questions out in the audience for Susan, do we? Yes. Go ahead, man.
Yes, Susan, what's the best temperature to cook a 20-pound turkey?
Well, I would say in the highest setting of your microwave oven.
Can't believe I have the leading feminist author in our country. And, yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was wondering, for us girls with children, what do you recommend, either cloth versus disposable diapers?
You don't have to answer. Give us a third.
It doesn't matter as long as you have man change
Yes,
diapers.
sir, a man.
What do you feminists want? What do you want?
What do you got?
Well, thank you, sir. We have a dinner for 2 for you at Kenny's Muffin Hut in the Valley. All right. We went to the crowd.
That was
nice to you. It's a little comedy bit. It was nice of you to go along with it. Hey, now, you guys had your video Magna Carta last year in the form of Thelma and Louise. What did you...
We feminists get sort of one show a decade.
Yes, they throw you that little bone.
Right. I try to point out to people, how strong women have been wiped off the TV set and the film screen, and they'll say, well, what about Thelma and Louise, as if that had multiplied into 100 movies.
Right.
But, to me, the response from the men was the most interesting, because there was this bizarre overreaction of John Leo in U.S. News and World Report said this was toxic feminism and it was fascist. And
well, he has 2 male names, so you can't help but John Leo.
He's going to be uptight. But here's a movie in which only one guy dies in an era when it was nothing for 300 people to die over the course of a film, like Die Harder, Die Harder 2, Die Harder 3000. So there's this one guy who dies who's clearly a sleazy rapist, a loathsome character. And then the rest of the crimes were against property, shooting out tires or holding up a convenience store.
And yet men were still, there was a hue and cry.
So like as if, and all this concern that this was going to get women out there on in the streets, shooting at men and lock up your guns.
Yeah, well, I drive a gasoline truck, so naturally I was a little uptight about the film. Now, what the hell are we, you and I, to do as people who obviously are, men and women are different in certain ways, and I'm wondering how can women get their rightful place, which is just equality, and how can men not be completely nuts about that? I'm talking about pragmatic approach here. What do you think we can do in the next decade to get it a little more on equal footing? Is there a possibility?
No, it's impossible.
Oh, you women, you're such defeatists. No.
I think the real problem is that while women have spent so much time changing the way they behave, changing their sort of appointed sex roles, women have flooded into the workforce, or, more assertive everywhere from, the working world to the bedroom, whereas men have kind of dug in their heels and said, we're not changing the way we define masculinity at all. There's a very interesting poll that the Yankelovich market research firm did.
You gotta watch polls, though.
Yes,
you
I know.
told me that.
Oh, but when they agree with me, I've been accused of that. But this one has been conducted for the last 20 years, and so it must be true.
It's got a database to it.
And it asks both men and women, what's the leading definition of masculinity? And all that time, that definition hasn't changed. The leading definition for both men and women, to be a true man, is to be the prime breadwinner. So when we're stuck with a definition like that, we're in big trouble.
Right, that's a deep hole that they got.
I mean, less than 10% of households of couples in America are in that so-called traditional family where the man works. So we have to figure out a way that men can prove their manhood without putting women down.
Well, the true definition of masculinity is the men are the one who say when it's time to go to commercial. So we'll be right back after this. Thank you, Susan. Thanks for coming on. Susan Faludi, folks. Stay here. You can stay here. We'll be right back.
This portion of the Dennis Miller Show is brought to you by New Ultra Dash. Cleans a mess for less.
Welcome back. Come to the end of another show, and I just want to say now we're going into this thing called Sweeps Weeks. This is where you get graded on. Now we've been on the show. We've been on the air for 2 weeks. Obviously, you can't get people like Arnold and that yet, but I do want to hear who you guys want to have on this show. So I'm going to give you this number. It's 213-871-8198. It's the voicemail number. I want you to call in. I want to hear your quirkiest suggestions. Let's put together an odd mix here, an eclectic mix, and see if we can have some fun in the next month. Here's some suggested reading for tomorrow night's program: A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift, and Bringing Up Children in a Different Time by Dr. Benjamin Spock. I'd like to thank my guests, Joan Rivers and Dwight Yoakam. You can see Joan every day on her show. And I'd also like to thank Susan Faludi. Good night, folks. I'm out of here.
When in Los Angeles, guests of the Dennis Miller Show stay at the St. James Club and Hotel.